Cohills Pro Series chemical stain can take an ordinary concrete floor and turn it into an extraordinary work of art. For the fraction of the price of stone or tile, you can create a unique look, giving your concrete visual character which cannot be achieved by using conventional polymer or pigmented type stains. Typical paint or coating stains cover up the concrete, while Pro Series chemical stains infuse the color into the surface to become a permanent part of the substrate, which will not crack, chip, fade, or peel. Artistic and graphic effects are limitless with Cohills Pro Series stain and can be created by using multiple colors or scoring the surface into a stone or tile pattern. Pro Series stains can be used in both interior and exterior environments, on almost any cementitious surface, including old and new concrete. New concrete must be cured for a minimum of 28 days.
Do not acid wash prior to applying Cohills Pro Series stain.
On removal of your carpet and pad, you may find various contaminants that must be removed. Some of these may be drywall compound, paint, and carpet pad adhesive. Ask your local Cohills dealer for the proper stripper or cleaner to remove any of these contaminants you may have. The first step in proper floor prep is to remove the carpet tack strip around the perimeter of the floor. Place the pry bar directly under the tack strip nail and tap the pry bar with a hammer. You will generally create a hole in the slab where each nail was placed, so with that in mind, be as gentle as possible. The smaller the holes, the less patchwork you will have to do later.
The next step is to clean and degrease the slab. It is very important to know that you should not acid wash the slab or use any cleaners that have acid as an ingredient. TSP, otherwise known as trisodium phosphate, is an excellent all-purpose cleaner and degreaser. A floor machine with an aggressive scrubbing pad usually works well for this application. Once you've cleaned the slabs thoroughly, inspect the floor for contaminants and use the proper products recommended by your dealer to remove the contaminants. For this project, we chose to put a 10-inch decorative border around the perimeter of the room. A circular saw fitted with a diamond blade works very good for this application. Your cut only needs to be about 1/4 inch deep. Once you've finished making your decorative cuts and mopped up the debris, it is now time to mask off all walls, doors, and any metal parts that may come in contact with your stain. Craft paper is preferred over plastic as it will soak up any overspray and eliminate any drips on your floor. You are now ready to stain. It is highly recommended to test the stain in a small out-of-the-way area to make sure that you get the desired reaction and color. For our decorative borders, we chose a brush application of a contrasting color. Shake the bottle of stain vigorously and pour into a plastic pail over a protected area, being careful not to spill on your slab. If possible, you should mix and pour all of your stain outside. Using small circular motions with a foam brush works fairly well for smaller areas, but you must keep a wet edge and work fairly rapidly. Try not to make straight lines and keep your work pot contained within the area you are working in. Remember, acid stains react very quickly, and if you're not careful, you're liable to show brush marks or drips. This is why a spray application is preferred for larger areas. Let your border areas dry completely before spraying the larger portion of the room. You may choose to mask these areas, however, for our project, we are only looking for a subtle color change. You are now ready to spray the rest of your room. Pour your stain into an all-plastic, pump-up, garden-type sprayer. It is a good idea to test your sprayer outside to get the fan adjustment to the proper setting. Ideally, a wide fan pattern works best. You definitely do not want the stain to come out in a stream. This will most likely leave you with a poor finish. Randomly spray the stain in small circular motion. try to get a light, even coat without puddling. If you do get puddling, do not try to correct it. Acid stains are a chemical reaction, so with most colors they go down one color and dry a completely different color. For example, the color we are spraying is rustic brown, even though it's going down a green color. In most cases, you may want to put on a second coat of stain. If this is the case, let the floor dry completely and do not wash the floor in between coats. A popular method is to spray on your second coat sporadically to create more mottling. An interesting fact about acid stain is that the longer it takes the stain to dry, the darker it will become. That is why you want to avoid creating puddles, unless of course that's the look you're going for. Once you've allowed your floor to dry for a minimum of 4 hours, you are then ready to remove the stain's residue. This is the most important part of the project. If you fail to remove all of the residue, it will affect the overall appearance of your floor and more than likely result in a failure in your top coat sealer.
To remove the stain residue, pour approximately 8 ounces of ammonia in a 5-gallon pail of water. Saturate the floor and scrub with a medium bristle brush. Be sure to wet the entire floor at one time and do not let the scrubbed areas dry. A shop vac or extractor works well to remove the standing water. Once your floor is dried, it is a good idea to test the floor for residue. Wipe a clean white rag across the floor in several spots. If any residue shows on the rag, you need to continue mopping the floor. Remember, you must remove all residue to ensure a quality job. You are now ready to seal. Allow your floor to completely dry for a minimum of 24 hours. In most cases, a stained floor requires at least 2 coats of sealer, which generally can be roller applied or sprayed. For our project, we will be showing both applications. Cohills offers a wide variety of sealers, including everything from interior to exterior, low sheen to high sheen, and water-based to solvent-based. Choosing the right sealer for your project can be tricky, but with the help of your dealer, you should have no problem finding the one that is right for you. There are 5 questions you should ask to help choose the right sealer for your project. The first is sheen. Does this sealer have a low gloss or high gloss finish? The second is color change. Will this sealer darken my floor? The third is maintenance. How long will this sealer last and what maintenance does it require? Fourth, odor. Does this sealer have an overwhelming odor and will I need a respirator? And the last factor is cost. Will this sealer fit in my budget? For our first coat, we rolled on a light coat of Cohills High Solid Sealer. Once our first coat of sealer dried for several hours, we then grouted our border that was saw cut around the perimeter. Sealing the floor before you grout helps in the cleaning process and eliminates staining your floor. If you do not intend on grouting your saw cuts, then you should not make them any deeper than 1/8 of an inch, as they will collect dirt. For our second application of sealer, we chose to spray Cohills High Solid Sealer. Spraying the sealer can be a little more tricky, but if done right, it produces a much nicer finish. Like the roller application, you want to put a light, even coat on and eliminate any puddling. It's a good idea to read all technical data, application instructions, and safety data on any sealer you choose. Be sure to follow all application instructions on both Pro Series chemical stain and the top coat sealer you choose. Keep in mind that because no 2 concrete floors are alike, it is generally not possible to duplicate the floor. A good example is an extension to a driveway or patio. If the original slab is 12 years old and the extension was placed 8 years ago, more than likely they will differ in color and effect. It is also a good idea to test a small out-of-the-way area to make sure you get the desired effect and color. Remember, chemical stains react differently on every piece of concrete, so color charts should only be used as an aid to get you close to the color you're trying to achieve.